Next, the law requires that payments meet the following minimum requirements. So one, has to either be made on or before the date that compensation is due pursuant to the contract, or no later than 30 days after the completion of the work, if there's no time frame provided in the contract. Now, if you don't provide a time frame, you've actually violated the first part of the statute, which requires that you list out a time frame. So that could go to the calculation of your penalties and what your exposure would be for violating the law. Fourth, the law prohibits setting the following conditions to the freelancer receiving payment after they have started work. So one, you can't force the freelancer to accept pay less than the amount specified. And two, you cannot require that they provide more goods or services than what's outlined in the contract in order to receive payment. So make sure that your agreement is written well, that it provides for modifications in writing so that if modifications need to be made, you can make those amendments to the written agreement in writing. Make sure both parties sign it so that then that becomes the new agreement. Fifth, the Freelance Worker Protection Act prohibits discrimination or any adverse action against a freelance worker that penalizes the worker or is reasonably likely to deter the worker from taking any of the following steps. And one is that would prohibit them from opposing any practice prohibited by this new law, from participating in a proceeding related to enforcement, to seeking enforcement rights, or otherwise asserting or attempting to assert rights provided by the law. So essentially, it's saying don't discriminate, do not retaliate if a freelancer is trying to enforce the law. So if a freelancer ever sends you an email and says, hey, we need to have a written agreement, and you go, no, we're not going to have a written agreement, or if you require a written agreement, we're not going to work with you, those things will provide the freelancer with a potential claim against your company.